Hi there, and welcome to Quick Tips for Teaching. I'm your host, Jenna Camp, and today I'm talking about the instructional practice of design-based learning. Design-based learning is the brainchild of Doreen Geary Nelson. Yes, that Geary. She is indeed the sister of the famous architect Frank Gehry, but more importantly, for our purposes, she is an amazing educator in her own right. She created this inquiry-driven, constructivist, creative instructional practice wherein scholars design and build adaptable three-dimensional models in response to and as solutions to content-related curricular challenges or problems. So design-based learning, or DBL, has established learning objectives that are usually connected to the standards, Common Core standards or otherwise. They present design challenge criteria, so the teacher has the scholars create never before seen models that must be three-dimensional. This is a tactile, manipulative, constructivist activity. Kids are working with their hands, with each other, building something physical, right? And then the teacher, along with the scholars, creates a criteria set of things the model must not be, the don't wants, as well as the criteria that the model must meet, the needs. And of course, an instructional practice like this develops all 4 C's: communication, because scholars have to work together; collaboration, because scholars have to work together; creativity and critical thinking as they build and adapt and try things out and play around. Now, originally, Ms. Nelson developed this as, I think it was a civics project. It was a constructivist learning by doing. She had her scholars, I believe in middle school, develop a city, a 3D model of a city. Now, it's not called a city in design-based learning because it has to be never before seen. We've all seen cities. So she wanted her scholars to create a never before seen communal living space. And that included everything you need when you're creating a city. So there has to be a transportation system. There had to be housing areas. There had to be office spaces. There needed to be places where people can get food, or can go out and get eat food, or can go find entertainment, or where they can have outdoor recreation. So all of these elements of city planning went into this, which is what starts to make it interdisciplinary. And importantly, design-based learning follows the real-world design process. Now, when you are trained in DBL, you understand that there is a 6.5-step process to this, which I'm not going to go into here. You can always check this out at designbasedlearning.org. There's a lot of information at that website from Ms. Nelson and her team. Design-based learning, again, is addressed to learning objectives, so it's connected to textbook study or research. And it absolutely develops higher order thinking skills on Bloom's taxonomy and Webb's depth of knowledge. Now, I find a DBL to be really quite versatile. And as I moved from the school that used design-based learning as its framework for that, for all instruction at that school, and I moved to a more traditional school, I took the elements of DBL and I adapted it to smaller curricular challenges that were just in my classroom, in my English language arts classroom. So I have scholars using, and I always have them using materials that I have gathered myself, and from colleagues, I asked them to bring in their clean recyclables. So you can see that this is I think it was a cereal box, and then there's a cleaned out soda bottle, and we have tissue paper and glue sticks and some construction paper, egg crates, all sorts of things. Scholars use these recyclables that don't have anything to do with the concept, and they have to adapt them to that. So I think down here is an image of the way that the character in a book we were studying, I believe it was Siddhartha in the hero's journey, we were identifying this concept of the hero's journey, and I wanted scholars to create a never before seen representation of the crossing of the threshold into the hero's journey. I've had scholars create, even these are avatars of themselves. So we just use toilet paper rolls that had been gathering for months and good old basic art supplies. You can see popsicle sticks and pencils and construction paper and glue. And we had them create little avatars of themselves and put on their symbolic representations of who they are and what they know. And over the course of the year, the scholars would return to their avatars and add to or subtract or change or edit different pieces to demonstrate who they are becoming over the course of the year, to demonstrate what they have learned. And by the end of this, we have now an entire reflective essay that they then use that avatar to write about themselves. So you can adapt this in a lot of different ways. You can adapt this in science classrooms. You can adapt this in math classrooms. Scholars can build math models, take a concept, build a model of the Pythagorean theorem that does not include a triangle somehow. Different things that you can have scholars do. It's incredibly versatile and adaptable. For more quick tips, check out jennacamp.com. You can always find me on Facebook, Instagram, and my YouTube channel at Jenna Camp Educational. I'm on Twitter at Educational Camp. And don't forget to check out Think or Thwim on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That is a podcast dedicated to how teachers and educators develop the critical thinking skills of their scholars. So thank you very much and have a great day.